Today, we're going to talk about a major international issue that's still ongoing, the Russia and Ukraine conflict, and more specifically, how Indonesia respond diplomatically to this crisis. Before we dive into Indonesian stance, let's understand a bit about how the war started. On February 2, 2024, 2022, Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine. Russia claimed they were protecting Russian-speaking region in eastern Ukraine, but Ukraine, along with most of the international community, views this as a violation of their sovereignty. This war didn't just impact Europe. It has global consequences, including an energy crisis, since Russia is one of the largest gas suppliers in the world, food shortage because Ukraine is a major exporter of wheat, political tension in global institutions like the UN and G20. So how did Indonesia, a country with a foreign policy of being free and active, reach to this?
Indonesia has always followed a foreign policy called free and active. This means we don't take sides in international conflict, but we actively support peace and cooperation. During the Russia-Ukraine war, Indonesia did not explicitly support either Russia or Ukraine. However, Indonesia firmly rejected violence and consistently pushed for the peaceful resolution through diplomacy and dialogue. A concrete example of Indonesian action was President Joko Widodo visit to both Ukraine and Russia in mid-2022. He was the first Asian leader to visit both countries since the war began. In Ukraine, President Jokowi met with President Volodymyr Zelensky to deliver humanitarian aid and express solidarity. He then went to Russia to meet President Vladimir Putin, urging an end to the war and calling for dialogue. This was widely referred to as a peace mission and gained international attention for Indonesia's effort to act and natural bridge of dialogue. At the nation, Indonesia supported the resolution considering Russia's invasion but did not join Western and country in imposing sanctions. This shows that Indonesia is trying to balance its principle with national interests.
Why did Indonesia choose to remain neutral and avoid taking sides? There are three several reasons. The first, foreign policy principle. Since the time of President Sukarno, Indonesia has committed to a non-aligned stance. This means Indonesia avoids aligning with any global power blocs, but still contributes to peacekeeping and conflict resolution. This position has remained consistent due many global issues. The second is national economic interest. Indonesia has strong economic ties with both Russia and Ukraine. From Russia, Indonesia imports fertilizers, energy, and wheat. Meanwhile, Ukraine is also an important supplier of grain. So, if Indonesia were to strongly condemn one side, it might harm our trade and economic stability. The last is Indonesia global role. In 2022, Indonesia served as chair of the G20. There were strong calls to exclude Russia from the G20, but Indonesia refused, stating that G20 is an economic forum, not political one. By remaining neutral, Indonesia ensure that all parties could attend and talk, making dialogue possible. So Indonesia's stance is not about being afraid or passive, but about playing a constructive role in a divided world.
I see. And I think I want to add some closing statement. In my opinion, as a developing country with a long-standing principle of a free and active foreign policy, Indonesia strives to take a wise and balanced stance in responding to Russia-Ukraine conflict. And the peaceful diplomatic efforts, including President Jokowi's visit to both Kiev and Moscow, reflects Indonesia's determination not just to be a bystander in global politics, but to actively contribute to a peace building. And then also, this approach has reflects both praise and criticism. And then we must to understand that in today's increasingly multipolar and complex world, active naturally like was Indonesian practice is more important than ever. Indonesia aims not only to protect its national interests and economic stability, but also to maintain its role as a bridge for communication between major global powers. And then I think we can looking ahead, Indonesia has a great opportunity to strengthen its position as a mediator in international conflicts, especially through multilateral platforms such as ASEAN, G20, and then the United States. And then furthermore, Indonesia can amplify its humanitarian role, diplomacy, and South-South cooperation. And then helping to build a greater global solidarity, we can, as the younger generation, we also have a role to play by learning about global conflicts and understanding Indonesia's role within them. We can grow into globally minded citizen and then critical, empathic, and then a commit to peace. And then we can also have a reason in the end. Diplomacy is not only about world leaders on the international stage. It's also about how we as a people understand and support a peace, justice, and cooperation. So that's all from our group. Thank you for watching our video. We hope this presentation helped broaden your perspective and inspired a shared commitment to Indonesia's peaceful diplomacy on the global stage. Bye.